Okay, we back. Back. Please work. Please work, Lord. Let us have a good interview. Come on, Lord. Well, just make the Wi-Fi work right, Lord. Please. Please, higher power. Just let us have good volume. Right? We been good?
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, we good? You hear me good?
I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Comic Lord up there. Thank you so much. Woo. Okay, now we back. Now we back. First,
We're
let me
back.
say, man, I am glad to meet you, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
I'm getting like me. Uh, I started out, comics. Go to the store with my mom and them. They would never let me get the book, but I could always read a little bit. I was a big cartoon watcher, so talking with you is, what I'm saying, very inspirational at the same time, inspiring at the same time. Learning about you, learning more about your story, because your books and Stranger Comics is people are fans of yours, and one of my best friends and his family, they're big fans of yours. So, uh, let me get started with this and let everybody know I am Cooks 24 podcast, and I am talking with Mr. Sebastian, known as Stranger Comics. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on a nice Sunday evening. I had just had some tea and some ice cream at the same time for the double combo. Like I had the British tea and some mint chocolate chip ice cream, and excited to be here. Thanks for having
That
me, man.
sounds real good, man. I'm gonna share this to a couple people right quick because I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure everything's good. So let me share this. Let me share away. And while I'm sharing, man, you know what I'm saying? If you don't mind, let a couple people know, like who you are and some of the books that you have out, which we're gonna break into, but just one of your popular books.
Yeah, thanks so much for saying that. So my name's Sebastian, and I thank you. Great ice cream. My apprentice is like, I got to try burnt butter sage, and I was like, that sounds like the blackest ice cream I've ever heard. Burnt butter sage, point me in the right direction. I run this company called Stranger Comics, and with a bunch of amazing folks, and we have amazing artists. And we're most famous for a comic book called Niobe. And
Mm-hmm.
that I guess it came into kind of like prominence back in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2015, we did, actually, it's funny, I've got one right here. I've got one right here. So this is the Niobe Shears Life first retail printing. This is, what's up, Inja Binja? Stranger Danger. I like the choice of name. So this is,
That's my buddy.
oh, really? That's awesome. So this is the first, we didn't realize at the time, but this was the first nationally distributed comic book with a black female author, artist, and here in the history of comics. It was kind of crazy.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Dominic, this is, I was lucky to write this with Amanda Stenberg, who played Rue in the Hunger Games, and she was in The Hate You Give. And Ashley A. Woods out of Chicago, she did the beautiful interiors over Daryl's art. So that we had no clue we were, making history at the time, which was, we were just making a comic that needed to be told. And we were like, everyone's like, oh, it's timely. We're like, no, this shit has been timely for a long
Yes.
time. So it's timeless, right? Anyway, I don't
Uh,
want to reach
I
in.
want to
So
throw this in. Let me throw
yeah,
this in right here. Love Me Always. She's a big fan of yours. She collects
hey, yes,
big fan of yours, which you already know because my partner, my tag team partner on Sunday, Spade Numbers Comics, he definitely and also I'm glad this other person just jumped in. British verse Sterling. I just wanted to let you know about him before we get into you. He's doing a walk across America
oh
for
wow, that's wild.
for peace. He's
Oh,
already walked across 6 states, and he's getting ready to head across the hot states like Oklahoma and Texas. And I would just like for you to know that his goal is to make it to Vancouver. He'll be going through New Mexico, Arizona, California, Oregon, up to Vancouver to Washington. I would just love to let you know. Hashtag Peace Walk 2021. If there's ever time, check it out. And
done.
and he's a friend of mine too. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to throw that to you because I feel the
No,
positivity.
I'm gonna thank you. I'm gonna screen grab that shit right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Asia, and thanks. What's up, OG Green Lantern? What's
That's
up,
my
fam?
buddy. He the
Yeah.
one now, OG Green Lantern, he the one that he is the reason why I feel like me and you are talking right now. He
Oh, that's
told me some he told me some stuff about you, and he said, I don't know if it's somebody that he know that talked with you before or something, but they talked about how cool and how laid back and positive you was. And he said, Cooks, I think that'd be a great somebody for you to reach out to.
that's
And here we are. So
that's so nice. And just to say, if anybody wants, it ends this evening, guys. If while you're on here, if you go to our website and you want to get something for free comic book day, right? You can get the Niobe Shear's Death trade paper. You just literally go to the website, find the trade paperback version of this, and type in FCBD for free
C
comic book day.
D. I'm writing it
FCBD,
down.
yeah, discount code. You just got to rock $5 for shipping because
Mm-hmm.
like they're saying it's Christmas, but it's it's Christmas on a
Yeah.
budget. Anyway, you get the whole collection for free, FCBD on the website, but you have to go on the trade paperback section, this section right here. Um,
Man.
Thanks, Dominic. Yeah, thank you, Everyday Nerd. What's up, family? Thank you so much.
Man. Okay.
And
Now, go
Jamaican
ahead. You can.
Stella Mitchell did the artwork, and I'll shut up. But just so you get an idea, that's what we got right here. Oh, that's a great idea. So, I'm gonna, if you want to
Yeah.
pin FCBD,
Yeah.
yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Very,
Okay. Sure will.
thanks, OG. Thanks, Deja. Thanks, Dominic. What's up, Black Gold? It's one of my favorite songs, Black Gold of the Sun. But I'm gonna just ramble, bro. I'm sorry. I'm just shut up.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I enjoy that. Please ramp as much as you want to, man. Let me know that I ain't boring you. You know what I'm saying? Yo, okay, so let's get into a little bit of Stranger Comics,
Please.
formed in 2007. Am I right?
You're right, and yes, you can draw
Okay.
it.
Okay. First convention as a publisher was in 2009 at the San Diego Comic Convention. You was
Yeah,
actually sharing a booth with like 9 other people, and you
yeah,
had Untamed issue 1 was your big draw right then, right?
yeah. That's right.
Since then, it's grew with you in the comic community. You know what I'm saying? I also want to give a shout out to, because I did my homework. Shout out to WME agencies and your law office peoples that you fool with. Show them love as well. Uh, my first thing I want to throw at you, it ain't really even a question. It's more of an explanation. A philosophy of quality.
Mm,
I read that in the on the website, and
mm.
if you don't mind, elaborate on your philosophy of quality, where both story and art are sacred and authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So, I think, good Lord, I feel like, when I say that shit, I sound like I'm on my soapbox. But the reality is, I think what happens is I talk about this a lot with my friends that all kinds of media now at times has forgotten the love of the craft. And the love of the craft has become more a popularity contest. And
Okay.
when the popularity contest, then just because you have followers doesn't make you a leader. And just because you're in the game doesn't give you necessarily the gift or the desire to achieve in your creation. So the philosophy of quality is when we do a book, when we do a comic or a book or a kid's book or poetry, whatever it is, we make sure we put our soul and we put as much love and heart and effort and joy and pain and sorrow and all these emotional feelings into the work. So if some kid has got $4 at a comic shop, I would be a thief if I was going to not pour everything I have into this work, because that kid could spend his $4 on his Spider-Man or on his Batman or on whatever he's or she or they are used to, right?
Right.
So Philosophy of quality is to keep the integrity of the art form, at least do the best, do the best we can with it while we're in the vacuum of creating shit.
Yes, sir.
And I feel at times a lot of folks are so quick to want to be able to get the like on Instagram or the quick, the validation. I think we're so self-absorbed in the self-absorption day and age that we don't take the time to put in the work and do the craft. So the philosophy of quality is us saying, if you buy Stranger Comics, we're going to hallmark that shit. So if you feel like we could do a comedy like Our Ruining Christmas, which is, like really naughty, right? It's
Okay.
our NWA, right? But it's going to be as good as it can be. And authentic representation matters in the sense to me of you cannot necessarily gender swap and race swap and do all these types of things because there are nuances to so much that happens in the day-to-day. So we do the best to be as authentic to our craft and the stories we tell, and at least honor that as best as possible.
Yes, sir. Great answer. Great answer, man. Great answer. Man, like that was a great answer. Like I'm listening because it's the way you answer that. It just caught me off guard because it's like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a great way to open up this two-part question right here. I had it separated, but I think it's better to ask you together. The name Stranger Comics. Where did you get that from, and who is Stranger Comics?
Oh man, I love this interview. This is awesome. So I got the name Stranger. It's hilarious because I'd run a record label for about a decade. I put out old soul and jazz music and all that kind of good stuff. And
What?
yeah,
What?
that's why we do these kind of like hip hop homages that you've probably seen floating around, right? So anyway, I was this dude who had who was running around his mum's bathrobe doing live action role playing Dungeons and Dragons in the woods while I wasn't in Crenshaw selling my mixtapes and whatnot. Anyway, so big extremes. And so I had shopped these ideas around for Niobe in the World of Asunder that I'd spent my life since I've been a little boy creating. And when I shopped around to a lot of these comic companies, a lot of them felt, some of them were very nice, but a lot of them felt like, oh shit, maybe this would be good during Black History Month. This is our announcement comic book for the month, right? And I was like, oh, that's really terrible. I don't want to start another company again, but I guess I'm going to have to protect the integrity of Niobe and who she is and the world that we're trying to create and so on. So we were coming up with these terrible names, bro, like Integrity Comics, like really up our own, like, so terrible. So terrible. Like, integrity. Yeah. So, and I'm a huge spaghetti Western fan and a huge Kurosawa fan.
Okay.
And of course, Strange Tales. So suddenly I was walking to an audition because I used to be an actor when I was young and pretty. And and then I was walking down the street. I was like, wait a minute. The Stranger, the man with no name. Strange Tales. It's Golden Age Comics meets spaghetti Western. So that was the character in the first book, The Untamed, the man with no name. The Stranger, the lone drifter, the bad dude, the mysterious dude. So right? So the one last funny fact was, I was like, okay, when we go to conventions, we're going to wear fedoras, masks, and suits, and we're going to be the Stranger crew, like strange, like no one's going to know who we are. And like, that's why it's like a dude in a suit and the logo. The first convention, we were like, fuck this. We were exhausted, sweating and happy. So the mystery was gone, right? So anyway, that's why I called it Stranger Comics. And that is the backstory for Stranger Comics. Thank goodness we're not Integrity Comics, because that's really obnoxious. And who is Stranger Comics? Stranger Comics essentially is myself and Daryl May, one of my dear friends who I met live action role playing,
Okay.
and Joshua Cozine, who I met playing HeroClix, like
Okay.
who used to be an editor over at Top Can. We're like, whoa, we know someone who actually is in comics, and I'm playing HeroClix with him. And then Terrence Baldwin Johnson, who you might have seen, this big brother that is like 6'6", who cosplays as Dusu. He is also a partner in Stranger Comics, and Ken Mandy, who is a VFX guru. He's also a partner in Stranger, who did VFX on Fight Club and The Matrix and shit way back in the days. So that's
Really? Oh.
that's a bit of, but me and Josh and Darryl, we're kind of the core, and yeah, and I feel like shout out to all the Stranger Comics family, like the folks that are on here that you know that just join me every Thursday live. Like I feel like they are our family. That's Stranger
Yes.
Comics is the people, you know.
Yes, and I will say that I can relate to you because with me like my name, my grandma gave me my name. It's Cookie, so I go by Cookie all the time. So like, you know, my real name is LeBron, but you know that goes so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you mean like LeBron James? No, I was born in 1980. He was born in 85. I'm
Right,
first.
right.
Okay. Mine is LA. His is LE. I'm first. Okay. So get that out the way. But you know what I'm saying? So like you're saying, my family, Cooks 24 podcast, Cooks 24, I use that as a family thing, like, cause I'm a very positive minded person. Um, Even when it's a negative situation, I try to find the positive out of it. You know what I mean? So I just want to let you know with that answer, I really enjoy getting to know you, man, and talking with you. I just want to just give you your flowers right now instead of waiting to the end. Thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a great mind sitting on top of your shoulder, man. And I just want to say, yo, like that's dope how you created, like you did it off of straight organic. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
thank you. It's been I appreciate that. It's been
Yes, sir.
what's up, Tommy, and what's up, Britt? One of our Nobi cosplayers is on, Britt.
What's up? What's up, Brig?
An OG Green Lantern. If you're interested, we do have some other Dusus. If you want this one, DMX homage for free. This is
Ooh.
dropping on the Kickstarter YouTube launch on August 28th, on my birthday, Jack Kirby's birthday, my birthday too, August 28th, for free, just for turning up. You will get this DMX homage. That's how we do. We have some other sneaky rare ones like the blighted editions and other stuff too. But yeah, you want to jump on August 28th. But yes, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I just saw somebody mention it.
I'm sorry. You August 28th, your birthday?
August 28th is my birthday. Yeah,
So that
yeah.
means you're a Virgo.
I'm a Virgo, bro. Virgo?
Nice to meet you, Virgo. Nice to
That's
meet you, man. Nice to meet you, Virgo. Golly, I love my Virgo peoples, man. We nice folks.
we are.
Don't get us mad though.
This is this is true. That could be the next phase of a conversation, like when people made us mad.
Oh man, okay. Let me jump back into it, man. Something that I read. Also, you know, I did a lot of my research out of your website and looking at some of the pictures and stuff, and going as far as I can go. Um, Something else that you said that caught my attention that I would like for you to elaborate on,
Sure.
and some of your people that already follow you probably already know what you mean, because I agree with it already.
Mm,
Uh, Not settling for mediocrity and status quo is the death of human spirit.
yes.
So, if you don't mind, you can take as long as you want or as short as you want, but just elaborate on that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and if anybody is out there that wants to come to our YouTube on the 28th for I Space This like an idiot, maybe if you can, Cooks, while I'm rambling like a fool, write strangercomics.com and pin that, and then they can find the Kickstarter drop, which is the first thing that people will see on the website. And if people join the website too and subscribe, they get a couple of free PDFs. But you don't want to miss August 28th. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. That's the new Niobe. So thank you. Yeah. We used to say we want to obliterate mediocrity, and I think what has happened is you know, like I was touching on a little bit earlier, folks, I think they settle for mediocrity. We kind of settle for kind of the scraps at the end of the guy's table.
Mm-hmm.
And we want it to be we want it to be so good, but it not necessarily is, but it's kind of the only meal that's left in the fridge. So we eat it
Okay.
because we need to be fed. And I think what has happened a lot of times, what's up, true folks? I think what has happened a lot of times is as we've become, settlers, we settle into our own ambition. We settle into what has been given to us. We can lose sight of what is great and greatness, right? We settle into the self-absorption culture, the self-absorption of if a celebrity is talking about X, Y, and Z, we settle for that as truth, right? Yeah, I think a lot of times our media, the media's sometimes, and a lot of times, the media's mediocrity has brought everything down to kind of like a level playing field of, okay, I guess this is what I eat. And just because, and I don't want to sound harsh, but just because I've just gone on Wikipedia and I've read some cool shit and now I've got some sage and a fro, or just because I'm X, Y, and Z, or just because I've just learned this and now I'm this, doesn't necessarily, the patience isn't there anymore. The patience for the craft, the patience to honor ancestors, the patience to give respect, the patience to be great, the patience to take your time to be great, like Charlie Parker or Robert Johnson or Q-Tip or you can go down the list, Zeppelin or Hendrix or whatever. I think for me, when we did Stranger Comics, I modeled this after three companies, and I'm sure I sound like such an obnoxious dickhead, but fuck it.
No, you good.
Is I was like, all right, cool. If we're going to do a comic company, and if I'm going to spend my time away from my boy, my family,
Right.
then I have to not settle, and I don't have to settle for anyone else's acceptance or validation. I have to honor this medium that great men and women and trans folks and whatever have gone before, right? So that is, I'm duty bound and honor bound to the craft.
Yes, sir.
And I'm duty and honor bound. Like when people ask me, like, what's the hardest thing in making comics? A, the fucking money is brutal. It's very difficult. And B, my time away from my family. Really, it weighs on my soul, right? But then I think, how difficult is it for them that I'm following my dreams, that I'm taking away my time from them. So I have to really honor that. So if I'm going to honor that, I got to do the best shit I can. And I cannot settle for mediocrity. I cannot settle for the current trend, because I think a lot of motherfuckers, what they do is they follow a current trend. By the time they've caught up to that trend, the trend is shifted. So if you're a follower, and that's what I think a lot of times we fall into the mindset, of we're on Instagram, so we're like, I guess I'm a follower.
Mm-hmm.
So, and someone else is telling me some shit, so I guess I'll follow that advertisement. And who the fuck? And who are they? Who are they to tell you what? So for me, it was like, all right, when I started Stranger, it was like, I'm going to make sure I do the best I can, or I should not be in this game. I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't even do it. I shouldn't try.
Mm-hmm.
Some bloke, I was like, so we started the Untamed, and some bloke's like, you'll never be Alan Moore. And I was like, all right, yeah, but I'm me. I'm the shit. When I'm not
Yeah.
thinking I'm just shit, right? It's this dilemma with a creator. Like when I'm not
Yeah.
thinking I'm just shit, I'm kind of the shit, right? But
Yeah.
but philosophy of, well, you can't achieve greatness, so you might as well just straight up settle for just mediocrity, or just like, oh, this is currently trendy. let me jump on this shit so I can feel like validated by the crew. They don't give a fuck. No one cares. People, and I think so. So when I started Stranger, and I might be just going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but when I started Stranger, it was I was told, you know, I didn't have a lot of dough. I was told, wait, you're doing fantasy comics? That doesn't sell, right? Fantasy comics don't sell. They try, they don't really sell too good. Oh, you're doing comics with black leads. That doesn't really sell enough. That doesn't sell. Oh, you're doing a comic with a female and a black female as the lead of your entire franchise. You know, so I had no investors. They were like, like, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to do all three, but I'm going to do my utmost to make the craft of the story have an emotional resonance and have as many layers as possible. So authentic representation is there, but the art of the story and and so when people can read it on a human level, whether they're black, white, or brown, they're going to feel an honest, emotional, resonant connection, right? So, and then if there are folks who get more out of it, that on their second read or third read, or if they're black or if they're women or whatever the case is, hopefully there are enough layers to be like, oh shit, I've missed this. So yeah, settling for mediocrity. And I think when people are looking for like, oh, I'm going to do a comic, I had some idiot say, like, I don't know, back at a comic convention, someone was like, oh, you just did this to get an HBO show. And I was like, wait, are you telling me 30 years ago? Oh, so you could then sell exclusive comics? And I was like, what? No, I just want to tell this story that hopefully will resonate with people and make them feel positive and make them think a bit, you know.
Yes. Okay.
In this fantasy landscape. So yeah, I'll shut up. Otherwise, I'll just. Yeah.
No, that's cool. I'm just cool. Anybody in the chat that has a question, I want y'all to look at that little circle over there and with the question mark in and put your question in there because I want to leave the pin right here of strangertocomics.com so people can know. Because once again, I know within the interview he'll explain why it's up there and what, you know what I'm saying, he had to offer, letting y'all know it's a good time right now. You know what I'm saying? He feeling good. You know, I know how us Virgos is. When we show love, we show love. Period. So, go ahead.
Yeah, questions, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, he had one. Actually, yeah, that's what made me say that.
Okay, yeah, go for it. What was the question? Did you see?
I think he asked you. Let me scroll. I think he asked you about what inspired you to create your own comic characters, or comic and characters.
Okay, that's a great question. Thank you. Yeah. So the origins of Niobe really kind of came when I was a kid, and I was a mixed kid in the boarding house in a very kind of white villagey kind of neighborhood, and I was picked on a lot. And I think the concept of, I love Lord of the Rings, I love D&D, I like fantasy. It was around the same time that all these kind of inspirations were hitting. I was reading comic books, X-Men and all that kind of stuff, and I was discovering Lord of the Rings, and I was discovering and I discovered James Brown at the same time, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. And all these things were converging literally in 90s hip hop, late 80s hip hop. I'm 48 this month, you know. So all these things were converging all at the same time, right? And I think this character Niobe kind of, what's up, Daryl? All these kind of things converged to kind of formulate this idea of this character Niobe, who would take on kind of my inhibitions and my vulnerabilities and my fears and my wrath, because I was also the son of a father who was extremely aggressive.
Okay.
And so his answer for everything was, if anyone says anything, hurt them badly. So it was all these things that were happening all at the same time. And I think I was a pretty sensitive kid. And so this character Niobe came to me. She's mixed like me. You know, it's always things like, oh, you're trying to find the right tribe to fit in with,
Mm-hmm.
and when you do, then are you accepted, right? And so there's a lot to ask of Niobe, but it's kind of, I always says, I grew, she grew with me, and
Mm-hmm.
that's around when I was in my early 30s after the record label. I I I had this character here. And I'd been playing so much D&D and live action role playing. I'd created so many characters that had this landscape, this big. I mean, I've been creating the world for over 30 years. So it's I was like, oh shit, I got some source material here, and
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, I was a huge. I loved, you know, I was discovering, you know, Malcolm X's book, autobiography, and I was discovering Scorsese movies and Spike Lee and Public Enemy. You know, it's all, you know, it's just, so here it was. And I think when you read the realities of Niobe's journey, you'll understand, and the stranger's journey, different reflections of my, my involvement
Okay.
as a person, I guess, you know?
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Now that mixes in with what one of my next things. I'm kind of like jumping back and forth because I had so much for you, but I had it at a pace. But you answered them so well. It's like, okay, I can't answer him the same thing that he just answered. So check this out. Fantasy Worlds. I want to make sure to say this name. Fantasy Worlds are Raucous comedies.
Fantasy wasn't raucous. Yeah.
Raucous, my bad. Okay, my fault. You know, I'm a country boy. My bad. Raucous comedies, children's books with important life lessons. So like, I guess what I'm asking is, how'd you take all those different categories or stereotypes and put them together to come out with these important lessons? Is it like is it like personal life mixing with this, or is it a different recipe?
That's a great question, bro. It's a great question. I think the reality is, I love, what I get most joy out of is teaching. You know, is seeing when if I've done some teaching, and
Yes,
I
sir.
out of school when I was just around 17, 18. But so it's ironic that I do some teaching now and again, and to see the spark in someone light up, I think gives me kind of the most joy. So I think what has happened is, like, we're multifaceted, right? So a lot of times when people come to the booth at conventions that we do, they see the dark fantasy, then they see Niobe, then they try and put one on one together and see me and go like, I'm confused, you know, and then they see kids books, or then they see comedy, and I say, you know, I say, yeah, I like sex and sandwiches. Like, you know, we are three-dimensional people, and so we are not monolithic. We are three-dimensional people, and the goal is to heal. And no matter what comic or kids book or even my naughty comedy, um,
Mm-hmm.
lessons, hopefully, that folks can you know, can get, without being preachy. Like, you know, we basically go, okay, here are some seeds. I'm going to let you water them. So
Okay.
here,
Okay.
here are some, here are some things for you to water and then let grow. And then hopefully you come back and like, oh shit, I didn't, that's cool. I resonated with that shit. You know, I didn't the first time, or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what I get out of it here, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, J Dub in the question below, J
Yeah.
Dub for life. Before I ask you his question, I also have friends like my friend Spadenomic Comics
Yeah.
and Six Element of Hip Hop. They also have had questions like these before. What's the first step when starting your own publishing company?
First step. The first honest step is, to me, you you set aside your goal, like a short, mid, long term goal. And what is the most important thing for you to want to convey, and why are you doing it? Are you creating this company For what reason? I think when you self-reflect and you ask yourself, if you want to create a publishing company, is for what? Are you wanting to do it for money? Then don't do it. I'm just telling you, don't do it. If you want to embrace the craft, then okay, bet. And then what resonates with you, that when you're working, like my kid's visiting with me right now, and he's like, he's never, he's like, he's kind of worried. He's like, you just work 7 days a week from 6 a.m. till midnight every day. So if you're able to have that realization that this is your life, this is your world, the first step is having an honest conversation with yourself. And then once you've had that honest conversation, you want to take the next step, which is probably what people, I think, skip. And they go, what's the first step for real? Is don't spread yourself too thin. So if you don't spread yourself too thin, start with story number one. Story number one that moves and inspires you. So if artists quit, or money runs low, or X, Y, and Z happens, you are still moved by the singular story that you know you need to tell. That is the most important thing. If you start doing this, like, oh, I've got this story and I'm down, this is cool, and I've got this and this and this. Like, I've sat on Ruining Christmas. We published this on Kickstarter end of last year. That's been with me and Daryl since 2008. Just didn't have the bandwidth. When The Stranger, I tried to do too much at once, and it just nearly obliterated me. So what is that story? The Untamed for me was the story of a man's search for redemption, which matched my own need for healing. And then a seed planter for Niobe, like, I'm wanting to heal myself through this man's story. And can I be healed? Can I be saved? So for me, it was a very honest, personal journey, this character of The Stranger. And can this little girl save me, as she did and has done my whole life? So if no one likes it, fucking whatever. It's going to be good for my spirit. But the work I'm going to do is to, not to say whatever, that's wrong, is I'm hoping that someone finds some sense of relationship with these characters, because it was, for me, all about second chances. So I started comic company late in the game at 34. I would have never written a comic book in my life. I'd never published anything, and I had a lot of people like, "What the? You don't know anything about comics?" Yeah, you're right.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time, because some of my friends is probably older than that. Say that one part one more time, if you don't mind, Mr. Sebastian.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I started Stranger Comics when I was 34, and people said, you had a fucking clue what you were doing about comics. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I wrote a script, and I had 90% of my friends were like, this is the real, right? So when people read your shit for the first time, most motherfuckers are jealous. Just to be honest, because if you suddenly want to follow your dream, and you could be later in life, a lot of people have already kind of given up their dream without, and when you say follow your dream, people don't realize how difficult this is. But I had a friend of mine who read my script, and he had gone to film school, and he was doing well, making money as an editor of commercials, and he read my script, and he was like, oh, this is crap, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. He listed out all the reasons it was terrible. So I listened for about 3 hours, and during those 3 hours, he was like, and this one scene where Niobe, she should have been more emotional here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, that's actually really good. Let me write that shit down. I had to learn to tune out people's jealous insecurities of my attempt at risking, my attempt to do something that I wanted to do. To not be great for myself, but because I needed to tell this fucking story. And I needed Niobe. It sounds so obnoxious when I say this, but Niobe healed me. Niobe healed the fantasy world I was creating. Maybe she could heal people as well as she healed me by reading stories.
Hmm.
And and when, I mean, it just kind of fucks me up to think about it, that when I see cosplayers dress as Niobe, or I see girls, little young girls, 8, 9, 10, get Niobe and pick it up, and then they dress as Niobe, and elders come up to me at conventions, you know, who are in their 60s and 70s and 80s, and go, "Don't give up, young man. We've never had this." And the weight of the responsibility. That's why, coming back to the mediocrity thing and settling and all that kind of shit, like, I can't settle. I can't just go, "Oh, let's just quickly, hey, we need a new Niobe comic." I mean, it just doesn't work like that. I have to put on the right music. I have to, and I have to work on it every day. And, you know, so yeah, man, like, I mean, starting your own company, starting your own publishing company, you have to love it, and you have to work, like, you know, like listen to quotes from Socrates to Ali to the great, to people. You will have every doubter. My mum wanted me to be a plumber, and I'm the worst handyman. I can barely hang a picture up. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just like, fix.
Oh.
You have a stable job, you know, and yeah, it really is be honest with yourself. Don't do this if you want to tell the stories you want to tell the story that resonates with you the most. Start with
Okay.
start with that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, now before I get into the next question, because your fans they popping the fans they popping the questions in. But before I get to this next one right here from my boy OG Green Lantern, what you were saying right then, I mean, like it resonated into where I was jumping to, and it's like the way you're explaining it is you know, it's heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell that I did my research right. And like I got three right here that I don't even know which one to ask you first. So I'm gonna go with this one right here because it's gonna be kind of fun to ask you. Wouldn't nobody know this but you and your peoples because of how you said it in your article. I only took two words off two sentences, and you'll probably know exactly what I say, exactly what I mean when I say them. Um, Timey versus timeless. Did that ring a bell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Basically, y'all, what I'm saying is he said in one of his articles that he doesn't want his material, his product, his publishing, his love, his soul, his writing to be timey. He wants it to be timeless.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you will, elaborate on it however you want to, Mr. Sebastian.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd written some article for Afropunk back in 2015. I think, I don't know if you were getting from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, huge honor. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I think um, I think what happens is we chase nowadays, not we, but most people chase hashtags. It's a panic, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
panic. Oh my God, I've got to be, in order to be successful, I have to be popular. In order to be popular, I have to follow a trend. I have to be trendy. What is trending? Trend, timely, the now. The amount of times I've heard executives and say, "Oh, this is really timely." Like
Mm-hmm.
that shit for since 2006, 2007. This is really timely. Oh, it's really timely now. Black Panther came out. Really timely now. Oh, really timely. Game of Thrones came out. Oh my God, wait a minute. And Wonder Woman, wait a minute. You've got a female and she's black and she's in a fantasy world. Wait a minute. You're really timely. You're really timely. Why do I want to be? And again, coming back to this point of it's always been timely. All these all these things that have been kept from black folks and women and all the various, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's been time. It shouldn't be timely. It should just be. It should just be. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to. But if I understand human psyche and that's how motherfuckers are, I want to be timeless. So, like, I'm always going to go back and put on Biggie or the first Nas album or Coltrane or Beethoven. Like, and it sounds so up my own ass. But if I'm gonna rock some shit, I want people to be like 10 years from now, like, I still read the Untamed book. I still have that shit on the coffee table. I still have my Stranger Comics stuff. If I, you know, pop my clogs or the company folded and shit, like people still go like, that Stranger Comics was the shit. That was, I can come back to it. It's not like, oh, this is hot right now. This is trending right now. This is the now. Like, it's always gonna be the now for me. I don't give a fuck if something's trending or not. I don't care. I'm gonna do the stories I want to do. I'm gonna tell them how I want to tell them, whether it's timely or not.
Understood.
And that doesn't make. I don't want to fucking follow some trend. Why am I doing that? How is that inspiring my how is that inspiring me writing? Like, can you? I can't even imagine, motherfucker, straight up like going, oh shit, this is timely right now. Hey, quickly, let's write some timely shit right now because this is trending right now. Oh my god, this is how cosmetic, how surface, stick some lipstick. I mean, it's just fucking like by the time, if people follow trends, like you're marching to the beat of someone else playing the drum. You're marching to the beat of someone else's drum. And how long do you wait to tell your story before the man tells his? So, yeah.
Okay. Word. And I got another question. I like how you said that, but I ain't gonna go to that. Let me get to your fans. OG Green Lantern, he would like to ask you, what's it like working with Jay Lee?
Jay Lee is man, Jay Lee is, funny enough, he is wonderful and kind, the most brilliant sense of humor. He's absolutely lovely. And this is bonkers because when I moved here, I was 18, and I remember picking up I walked down the street to Golden Apple, where I was at yesterday, and I remember picking up Jay Lee's run on the Green Lantern, Namor.
Okay.
When his fight with Doctor Doom, and I was like, what is this? Who is this? Oh my god. So I became a Jay Lee junkie. I was so obsessed with his art style because his feels timeless. It feels like you can look in a comic shop and go, that's Jay Lee. It's so distinctive and magical and has such depth and pathos and empathy and mood. And it really reflects him as a person. So it literally is. I'm working with maybe my favorite comic artist, you know, to do my covers. I mean, it's now and again, it's humbling. It's incredibly humbling. It's incredible.
Yes.
The dude is bananas. Yeah, he's done some new stuff for the new Kickstarter campaign, which is August 28th, which is magic.
I've learned about that.
Yeah.
Who? Say it again.
And then David Mack. Yeah, I met David Mack. I could actually. You want to see? Here, I'll show you some shit.
Show away. Go ahead.
So Jay Lee fans. Oh, I just pinched my balls. Hold on. So I'm going to right here. So okay, here we go. So I'm going to show you some stuff, guys, for Jay Lee fans.
Y'all ready?
I'm gonna get all high tech and flip the camera.
Here we go. The Cook's 24th Sebastian Stranger Comics moment.
So that is the Jay Lee original. Can you see that?
Yes, I can. Golly. Are y'all seeing that?
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take this over to the table, and then I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
What I got from David Mack yesterday.
Okay.
Well. I'm gonna show you these originals from Jay. These are on the Kickstarter. These are on the Kickstarter, so you can get Jay Lee inks and so on. So here we go. These are you guys are seeing this for the first time, actually. Usually I say this my Thursdays, but Cooks, you got it tonight.
All right, hey y'all, make sure y'all hit that button, subscribe to Stranger Comics first, and then y'all hit me up later on. But right now, y'all subscribe to Stranger Comics. Y'all ain't. Let's go, Stranger. Let's see. Oh.
Araxi and the god Paisian, the god of nature, right here. So this is going to be on one of the Untamed, the new Untamed Still Fall storylines. So we got that one right here. This is Niobe's brother. This is going to trip you out. This is Niobe's brother, Waso. Now, Waso comes from the Dusu comic book series. People didn't know. They collected Dusu, loved Dusu. They didn't realize that Waso is actually Niobe's brother. They're going to meet for the first time on this Kickstarter. This is Jay Lee's interpretation of Waso.
Oh, are y'all seeing that? Oh man, and that's gonna be Naomi's brother.
That's Niobe's brother right there. So you can read about Waso, guys, in the Dusu comic book series. So we have the entire Dusu hardcover collection and trade collection. True folks, like I want to claim that now. We have the entire of Dusu on the website. So remember, guys, just go to the website. Hello, Haiti. Go to the website and then just you subscribe and get all that stuff. And then this is something completely different, guys. This is from Ruining Christmas. This is our naughty comic book, Ruining Christmas. This is little Joey Canuggins, the rottenest kid in all the land.
Oh man.
All right, and I'm going to show you something else too, which I'm going to.
Yes.
All right, you got. This is from David Mack. This is if you guys jump on the early bird deals, guys. So if you got a Stranger Comics, click on the Niobe Endura, hit notify me. Hit notify me upon launch. All right. This is going to be part of the cover in the early bird rewards.
Oh man.
That's
Yo man, I'm gonna send you my email, man. I'm gonna DM you my email. I got
right. This is model of Soleil West as Niobe on the cover. Part of the early bird rewards, guys, on the Kickstarter. So make sure you hit notify me. Come to the party. Get the free DMX cover. And then who's also on the cover? So David used Sebastian Jones as the stranger as a model. Check this out.
what?
Look, there's me. What the hell?
Hell no. Hey, Spade and Numbers Comics. I want you to type that and I'm gonna pin it in. So say that one more time what you said, Sebastian, about the notify you thing, and y'all listen. Spade and Numbers, listen. Type it. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Go to strangercomics.com, hit the Niobe Endura icon, click notify me upon launch.
Boom.
So
Help me out, Spade.
Yeah, and if anything too, just send me a direct message too. If you just DM me, I can easily just send you the link because, yeah, you want to get this.
There you go. Just in case, that's a little too much for some. Y'all DM him, and he said he'll handle the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, for I know you're gonna laugh at this one, but the next question is from Spade Anonymous. He said, "Will you create a character based on Ed Love Me Always said A because he always teased her about you?"
You know, that's fantastic because funnily enough, we usually have rewards on the Kickstarter where people can get drawn into books and stuff. So,
You know what I mean?
saying, you know, I could create characters.
Mm-hmm. One more question. Six Element Comments wants to ask you, where do you find all the incredible models?
The models that we use for posing, like Fila La, is slide into my DMs, OG. The models that we use for Niobe Endura, so Soleil West, this really beautiful, kind, brilliant young lady. Her and her mom and dad, they're super kind. I just reached out to them honestly on Instagram and said, hey, you know, I'd love for you to model as our character Niobe. And Fila La, I did the same thing. She is a stunning and wonderful and brilliant lady out of South Africa, Pretoria, South Africa, my closest friends. And so I just I find them and I ask them, and if they say yes, great. And if they say no, no hard feelings. I've reached out to lots of people in the past, and a lot of people say no. You know, so you
Really?
find the right person who is like, yeah, that sounds great, and send them an agreement, send them some money, and a huge thank you, and you know that's how we roll. And the beautiful Niobe models, 90% of them find me at conventions, and then I say, hey, do you want to work at the booth, and do you want to hang out, you know, and become part of the Niobe tribe, and they will become great friends, and they're now of the Niobe tribe. So yeah, so that's how we find those cosplayers.
Okay, okay. All right. Now I'm going back into my selection. Now, all right, they guys, there's two more, three more for you, but I'm coming right back to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't trying to overwork Sebast right here. You know what I'm saying? Once again, thank you also, man, for giving your time. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
Okay. These next couple questions that I have selected are more on a personal of you, how you feel. Not the you and the company, more of just how Sebastian feel about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because
it.
that's one thing about me. Cooks 24 podcast. I like to pick your brain. You know what I mean? So, digital comics
Mm.
to you, what are the pros and cons in your opinion or facts?
Yeah, I think pros and cons, man. I mean, to me, the only con I can really see is potentially being wrapped up in the nostalgia of what once was. And nostalgia is a kind of a dangerous lover, where you go down memory lane and you know how it felt for you. So you want to be, you want to share. You want the same. It's like, oh, kid, listen to Tribe Called Quest, or listen to, Hendrix or Stevie Wonder or whatever. And the kids are like, no, I just want to listen to this,
Mm-hmm.
So for me, comics are that, right? I would walk into a comic shop yesterday. I was like, oh man, I miss the smell of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think becoming an elder now, you want the youngins to kind of experience the same magic that you feel and have felt. And the reality is they might or might not within the new day and age of digital. For me, digital is more a sense about understanding that people like to consume in different ways. So if people want to consume digitally, an audio book, a motion comic, a comic on a phone or an iPad or whatever, then fantastic, makes them happy. If they're getting an emotional resonant response and feeling from the experience, then wonderful. It's also a wonderful opportunity to promote. It really, I think it allows immediate brand relationship as well. There's an opportunity for someone. Look, 95% of my sales on my website, there are ebooks. 95% still buy the comics, the physicals. So I think the opportunity is there to say you can read these various digitals for free. Then you get these on discount, and then hopefully, like, you know what, I want to, I want to own the beautiful hardcover coffee table. I want this to sit. I've read this. I felt good, and now I kind of want this on my. I want to sit, and this has Viola Davis's forward in here just to be a bit swaggy, So I want to feel like, oh snap, I want some. So what it does too, I think it allows people to value even more the space they bring into their home, right? You can have lots of stuff. You mean one of those with lots and lots of stuff. But for folks that aren't like that, then you're allowed to be clean, less clutter, etc., and then you can have the high-end shit. Like, oh, I'm proud of this. I rock my stranger shit on the coffee table. Like that allows people to kind of, I think, it leads. It's a nice lead into other experiences.
Okay. Um, I know that I can tell that you have been through, like, when it comes to like psychological or thinking, chronicle thinking. You know, me and your Virgo, so we think a lot. You know what I'm saying? So reason why I say that, Mr. Sebastian, man, is I wanted to ask you, do you believe in alternative thinking? And if so, explain why or how.
Alternative thinking. Can you elaborate on what is alternative thinking? Alternative to what?
Like, okay, if something isn't working and you have to have a plan B,
Yeah.
or would you say, screw the plan B, I'm going to make this work some way, somehow. I just got to go back and refigure. You know what I mean?
Mm. I think it's smart to be honest with yourself and your instincts. I
Yes, sir.
think the hardest, the biggest mistakes I've made in life and work and career and the relationships or whatever is when I have not trusted my instincts. So if I have a thought or an idea or a goal for creating something and I'm bashing my head against the wall to the point of futility, then I have to be honest with myself that maybe I'm either wrong or I'm wrong right now. This is the
Hmm.
wrong or whatever this is. Or maybe, and it might not come again. And it's okay to learn how to let go. You let go of the people you love sometimes. You let go of the ideas that you love sometimes. Those are those are just these realities. Like I'm sure most people listening have gone to a movie and gone like, I had that idea. You know, it's like you learn to understand how to let go. But without question, being an independent as fuck, you have to learn how to laterally think, how to make money, like how to survive, um, what moves people. You know, like if I'm on a shoestring budget, how to get people talking. That's why when we started the hip hop variants, it was, you know, and I thought of the idea of, and then someone told me later Spider-Man had done something similar, but I didn't realize. Um,
Hmm.
but I was like, oh, how cool would it be to put on, there's Viola Davis's face. How cool would it be if she could go, hey, I'm on this cover. I'll tweet it. As well as Garcelle and my writing partner, Prentice Penny from Insecure and Issa Rae. And then you got David Walker on here and John Jennings. And I put all the black creators on here that are really pro and white.
I want that. I want that. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I want that.
It's, it's, we have the regular version, we have the foil version, right? So then people,
Ooh.
oh, shit, so then I've got the opportunity for folks to then promote it as well. Because they're like, I'm on a cover. Then Afropunk picked it up, like, hey, that's really cool. And like, we dropped this one here, the low end theory version,
Oh.
the birthday of the low end theory, right? So then I was like, oh, snap, this is going really, really well. This is for Naibi Shear's life. We called, instead of Midnight Marauders, we call this Dawnlight Dreamers. And it's a tribe called Quest. We call this She Tribe called Niobe because in the comic, everyone calls her She Tribe. A tribe, She
Hmm.
Niobe. Boom, right? And then these did really well, like really well. And so
Right.
then the biggie,
Man, I almost got up out my chair. What? Get out of here.
we
What?
ready for death instead of ready for diet. This is for Naibi Shear's death, ready for death. And the kid on here is actually the daughter of the lady cosplaying on the tribe covers. So it's a family tribe affair of Naibi cosplayers.
Oh man, do y'all see Spadenomics love me? Do y'all see that? Do y'all six comic dudes? Do y'all see that? Chat room, do y'all see that? Please share this live. If y'all don't mind, please share this live. Man,
So
that is
we
awesome.
thank you. I appreciate it. So that
Yes,
so
sir.
I no, I really appreciate it. So when we really try and think of lateral thinking, it is what moves people, right? So we worked with this actress, Amanda Stenberg, who co-wrote the Niobe series. And when she came to a booth once, I saw all these people lining up for her. And it was literally because she died in the Hunger Games and people were crying. She was 13 at the time. Emotional moment. So what I realized is like, okay, really what these comics are and these opportunities to share with folks are, I remember the time when I first heard Tribe. I remember the time I first heard Tribe. I remember the first time
Mm-hmm.
I heard Unbelievable, the Biggie track Unbelievable, when I was in the car with these two ladies. and it was unbelievable. You know, I remember, you know, you have these moments of emotional resonance with these art. So when people say, "Oh my God, that's Tribal Biggie," and these are Rushmore legends, right? Although Rushmore, I shouldn't use that word anymore. But these are, you know, sensitive. So that has emotional weight. So then when we did Ruining Christmas, we did one which for our naughty comic for our fans, we did Elfcast instead of Outcast, Stockonia instead of Stankonia.
Wow.
Right. So
Wow.
we obviously we did the NWA, the EWA, and then for other things too, for gamers, I don't have it handy. I can show it to you. If I go into the other room, we have
Okay.
the legend. We have Zelda variants. We have Donkey Kong variants. So for folks that are gamers, that means so much to them. We have those variants. So so lateral thinking is how do you get people to emotionally resonate with something? It's not just as simple as like, oh, let's do a variant,
Right.
right? It's what is the reason for the variant? Here, I'll show you another one which will really you'll love. Oh,
I'm
I see
looking.
has a question too, but here's another one which you'll love. Is sit down here again. Okay. Um, we did a introducing Black Panther homage, Fantastic
Wow.
Four homage.
Oh my God. I got to say, oh my God. That is never heard of. That is awesome, dude.
Thank
Golly. And like I'm for real. Like that is crazy right there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, these are this is done by Kane and White for Everything issue 4, and
Dang.
these characters, these are all characters from our comic book. So, you know, so when we're really, really target specific, we're target specific for an emotional resonant reason. Even the very first one that we ever did, this is a metal of it. I only have 2 of these left, but this one right here is the very first Untamed cover we ever did. This is the hand of the devil holding our hero. I wanted people to be like, "Oh my God, I see this dude down here," but what's holding him up? The hand of the devil. So automatically it gives you a, whoo, you know, some kind of emotional feeling, you know.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I could look, and something really crazy. On a different note, this guy Hiram did an illustration of me on a sketch blank just recently. So we've made 50 of these for our fans that want to see, because they see me looking crazy every Thursday. We have 50 of these that we're printing. We're splitting the money with the artist as a thank you to him. So yeah, it's bonkers. Anyways,
Man, you showing me some stuff right now.
if, if
I wasn't expecting this,
I,
man.
I tell you what, I'll also show you guys. I'm going to look it up
Okay.
right now. I'm going to show you some stuff. Speaking of hip hop variants, so who are the queen? Who is the queen? The queens of the '90s, bro?
For me, I would have to say Latifah,
Uh huh.
Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, MC Light, Yo Yo, um, Lauren. Wow,
We got Lauren.
wow.
This one's going to be on the next Kickstarter campaign. This is by
Oh,
Ryan Milton, The
oh.
Misadventures of Niobe.
At OG Green Lantern, we got a lot of work to do. We got to get the common dudes. We got to get these books. Golly,
Yeah, and these are going to be
these.
limited. I'm going to show you another one too. The other queen for me in the '90s was Erica Badu. Dura lives instead of Eric Badu live. Dura lives. This
Oh
is
my God.
by Raheem. So these are also variants that are dropping on the Kickstarter for Niobe and Dura Wrath of the Ancient.
Damn, man. You got some stellar creations, man.
Thank,
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I really do. And this is
God.
the main cover, just to show you kind of the mood I'm going for. Speaking of speaking of why we do this and elders and so on and so forth, this is why we do it. I'll show you like this.
That is so dope. That reminds me of a statue that I used to see in almost every black person house or a picture. I love that. And that's telling you so much right there. It's so much that's telling you.
Yeah.
But can you see? Can you see it though? That's the thing. Can they see it?
Yeah, that's the goal, is for folks to kind of get, and this is when Niobe's young, right? And I'll show you another one too. Let's see. Oh, it's not being kind. Oh, it is. There we go. It popped up for a second. I'm just kind of giving you like this is the new Untamed. This is modeled after my friend Aaliyah Will, one of the Navy cosplayers.
Wow.
And I noticed you were wearing a Woo shirt, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's the funny thing, is that's the symbol of Niobe too, like the interlocking dot. Yeah, because
No.
yeah, because
Whoa.
see this symbol here, bro, right? This symbol here, that's the goddess of light, the symbol of our Numina. It's marked on Niobe's back, so that's why Niobe. That's the symbol of the goddess of light. So
Oh
yeah,
my
Niobe is also down with the woo. Yep, straight up.
man, you just made my heart just brighten up even more. Golly. That was so man, hey man, like this is a blessing in disguise right here, man. I ain't gonna lie.
So here's Mac's version of Niobe with the woo, with the symbol on her back.
Man,
So yeah, these are all coming on this Kickstarter, August 28th. Don't message me, I'll send you the link. Hit that notify me button, because some of these are limited and they're gonna go real quick. I'll show you a couple of other things too. Here's another symbol too of, I'm doing 3 images, guys, of basically mothers and daughters braiding hair. Three covers.
man. This is off the chain right here, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
I ain't gonna lie, this is off the chain, Sebastian, man. And you know what? Like, while you showing me this, I'm gonna ask you something, man. You know what I'm saying? While you showing me this, I love, like, I can see, like, out of these you showing me, um, and Huffington Post had a review where they said a tribute to all badass black women. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Huffington Post said that, y'all. So, how does that make you feel? And what was the motive to even give more strength to strong black women?
I mean, I think it's the fact that, okay, I'm being very, very, very honest. It's when I was young, when I was very young, I was 8 years old, and I Virgos, right? We question. And I remember asking my deputy headmaster, my vice principal, in front of the whole assembly. I didn't understand this, and this is going to sound, it's not meant as an insult to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I asked, "Excuse me, sir, why is God a man? It didn't make if women create as with babies and whatnot, how come God's a man? How come Jesus is a dude? Didn't make, logically, for my 8-year-old brain, nothing made sense. So for me, I think when I was young, I felt that the most nurturing reality was woman. I didn't discover really my faith until I heard John Coltrane, or maybe even more so Alice Coltrane, his wife, when I was later on in life. So I think, if I'm really kind of just being as honest and vulnerable as possible, I would say that it, I think this Black American culture saved me as a young mixed kid, being in violence as a young mixed kid. And the matriarchy and discovering that aspect felt like the most honest, organic reality, that in my world that I was going to create, God was going to be a black woman, and the Messiah was going to be a black woman, because it felt inherently right.
Mhm.
So I'm just, you know, that, and I know I've lost a lot of followers for that, but you know, just
Hey, no, 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 no.
you know,
You
in
believe.
general, you know, I've
Understood.
yeah, it,
Understood.
and I understand that, and I'm pretty, you know, I'm very mixed. I come from a very intriguing background, and I had a very intriguing life being mixed. So
Yes, sir.
um, it has given me an opportunity to fit in here and there, but never quite fully belong anywhere, apart from with people on at times one-on-one or friends or family, and then sometimes even then. So it's an interesting journey, but I think it just felt it always was. If we all come, I mean, if Mother is Mother Africa, and Africa is the root of civilization, and if I'm going to create a god or a creator of the world, it's kind of 1+1 to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you know. So yeah, so that's kind of
Understood. Very understood. Very understood. Okay. Now I'm gonna get back into your fans' questions because I have one. I don't want to keep them waiting. So SD guy 73, my bad. You know what I'm saying? But when he was showing us he was showing us some stuff that we ain't gonna get to see every day until we get on there and subscribe and go, all this and that. So thank you for that. So back to SD guy 73 asks, where do you see the world of Asunda in 5 years? Not referring to Hollywood.
that's a great question. That's yeah, Brandon. Thanks, Brandon. If you're still on here, thank you. Um, he's an awesome dude. Um, Brandon, I see Asunder continuing to honestly blossom and grow. I like it for it to also experience its own. We got our own Pathfinder game. I'd like and miniatures and things. I'd like a board game and card games and more of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on the story wise, which you know, for folks that know our stuff might get excited, we're going to go back 2,000 years ago, and we're going to start to show you the origins of some of these early civilizations. And we're going to show you our Captain America. We're going to show who is named Atuan, and he is a prince of Ujoa, an African prince, essentially. So,
Okay.
so we're going to play in that kind of field. I'm also going to continue to write more singular stories and one shots, like Stranger when he's older, like Old Man Logan. You know, it allows me to stay fresh with my creating, to not be super linear, and allows me to dance in different timelines and let the fans connect the dots and go like, oh shit, this is now because of that. And he's like, oh, he's been around. Oh, how long have you had that idea? And I can be like, oh, I had that ages ago, but maybe I didn't really. But you know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, we're gonna dance back into the past and experience that. And even like on this next campaign, bro, the August 28th one, Niobe and
Mm-hmm.
Dura, that's featuring Niobe before the Untamed storyline. And Dura is also in the Dusu book, not just Waso. Dura's first appearance for collectors is in Dusu issue 1, and we're going to in issue 2 of Niobe and Dura. Niobe's got all these questions, like any 10-year-old. Why this? Why this? Why? You know, like every kid asks. And Dora's going to be like, "This is why," and she's going to show. I'm going to show for the first time how she created the world. So it's going to be like a fable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And also, SD guy 73 had another question in there. Sorry to you had to wait, SD, but I got you. Second question SD guy 73 asked was, did you always plan for Sue to conflict for Niobe, need a mentorship and a kick it invite? Or
Yes, you know, it's funny actually. Yes, that's one thing I can be very honest about. I've been waiting for over a decade for Niobe to meet Waso. Sometimes
hmm
if I did the art, you know, we'd be moving along a little quicker. Well, maybe not because I got so much shit to do. But you know, but yeah, patience in making comic books. patience and attrition, and just making sure releasing it when it's meant to be released and focusing on the quality. Always the quality is most important. So yeah, I've always been excited for Waso to meet Niobe. And Waso is a bit of a human hater, right? He's like he ended up being like a Genghis Khan. Like, he doesn't trust humans at all, especially what they call the snow faces to the west. Just does not trust, because he's there. You know, you can touch on environmental issues. You know, like, oh snap, they've come to, you know, chopping down our trees, our forests, yada yada yada. But you know, he's the opposite of like, oh, let's not invite them to our. Last time we invited them to our forest, bad shit happened. So he's like, now let's go and hunt these motherfuckers down. With Niobe being mixed, it's going to be a lesson for him. You know, he's going to have to come to terms with that, and also give him the opportunity to grow past his own prejudice or hate, and that learn that she's just as elven as he is. Right? She's just as, and that's okay. And so then welcome, right?
Okay. Makes perfect sense. Okay. All right. I'm gonna segment into this. Far as great reviews, I've read one earlier, and endorsements, comic book resources, Geek and Sunday, Nerdist, uh, Bleeding Cool, if I said that right, Ebony, Vogue, MTV, and of course Huntington Post and People Mag. And a comment that someone said, Viola Davis, she said, we all have, not her exact words, but this is what she said, we all have her inside us, and it's time to let her roar.
Yeah.
When you hear something like that, how does that make you feel?
It's humbling, bro. I mean, it's like, oh, what you have hoped, you know, people would feel with this character is, yeah, it's humbling. It's just, you know, you get it and it seems almost not real. And then,
Yes.
um, and then you're going 100 miles an hour trying to survive and sell comics and hope people like them, and go to conventions and travel, go to conventions, set up, break down, you know, on the go. And it's when people then they freak out seeing Viola's quote, which is actually in the forward in the hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
They go, "Oh my god!" and they see it and they connect the dots. And it's seeing that yeah, it makes it all worth it.
Yes. Okay, and I want to piggyback that with this because there's a reason why I asked you that. It's a comment that you made. I don't know how long ago it was, but I felt you and I understood exactly what you said. You know what I'm saying? Before Stranger Comics was stamped and approved, you shopped it around. You had ups, you had downs. You met a lot of crazy folks, but Niobe was your love.
Mm-hmm.
And you said when you said this, I could even hear my mama saying this, like I ain't taking no shit type of thing. But you said she's not going to be no flavor of the month.
Yeah, straight up.
Um, I'll let you take the floor on that because I know what you mean, but I just want to hear it because I love it. I love how you said that. Like I just love that.
Yeah, I just it comes back to what we were talking about earlier with like trends, like you think this is like straight up like, okay, we're in development at HBO, but I wouldn't be surprised if some TV show comes on because let's quickly hurry out a quick black fantasy thing with a black lead, and oh shit, we saw that Niobe comic. Like, I've seen a lot of people doing similar things since Niobe, and I'm like, that's great. You know, more
Hmm.
representation. As long as the story's cool, and the characters are there, that's going to resonate with the kids and the folks that watch and so on.
Hmm.
But I didn't create. Niobe's not for that. Niobe's to resonate with people at the time that they're meant to meet her in their life. And if she can stay around, the longevity of her is not just during February, not just because suddenly it's a hashtag, not just because suddenly, you know, you got corporations doing their phony Black Lives Matter corporate announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I don't, you know, like awareness is good, people learning is good, but Niobe's spirit is there to be celebrated and shared in. His Niobe's spirit is there to be shared in with everybody, but especially those who it was intended for. But
Yes, sir.
with everybody for sure. And those are the seeds that we plant, right? I mean, that's it. So it can't be a flavor of the month if all I'm doing is planting seeds, bro. I'm not giving
Yes,
out
sir.
cut roses. You know, I'm not like, here's some flowers. They're gonna die in like 2 weeks, but they look pretty for a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm here to plant some seeds and hope after I'm dead that other folks are still growing it. You know,
Understood.
that's
Understood.
the move.
And Mr. Sebastian, I think this right here is which I like I said, I know I hope I ain't holding you too long
No,
now. Are you happy? Everything's cool? Okay, I just want to make sure. You know
I
what I'm
appreciate
saying? Because I feel like out of everything that I read, everything I have wrote down, it's some stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that you know already answered in so many ways. I'm not gonna ask you, so I'm not shortening anything. But I think this right here is probably the most important question that I can ask you regarding Stranger Comics. Um, First, I want to ask you because I don't want to mispronounce. What's Niobe's whole name?
Oh, Niobe Ayutami.
Okay, reason why I asked you that is because of this. What brought her out of you? Like, what made you? What desire? What inspiration? What feeling? What downfall? What is it? What like? What prayer? Like, what was it that made you bring out Niobe? Because she is life. So
She is life.
help me with that.
The there's a friend of mine who created this amazing black fairy tale series called Brown Sugar Fairies. Aisha, she created the term "she is life." So shout out to her. Um, the character Niobe, it just resonated, and then from that it became her journey. She is life, and then she is death, and then we'll have she is spirit, and we'll finish with she is God. So it's this journey and evolution of spiritual change and involvement and growth in the same way I think that I have, and as young people do. And when we're young, we're full of life, and then we start questioning. You know, when we're young, we want to join Greenpeace. We're naive. We want to change the world. We want to do this, that, and the other. And then suddenly life hits, and it's like, oh shit, I got to armor up. I got to toughen up. I need
Mm-hmm.
self love. You know, self absorption to the point of, are people, and I'm going to tangent a bit, but are people so full of self care and self love that they've forgotten how to be selfless and give and be aware of being kind and daring to be vulnerable? So for Niobe on her journey, that's what happens, is she goes into this self-absorbed state of she is death, I am, and she feels like she has to protect her vulnerabilities of heartache and pain and all these types of things. And then as she grows, we'll have she is spirit, combining her faith and her fighting in this more evolved state of being before she ascends to she is God, and she is. But how did, for me, as a young man, a young boy, it comes back to what I was saying at school.
Mm-hmm.
My first day in the boarding house, I was 13 and I'd fractured my vertebrae about a week before, training for a fighting tournament. So I couldn't move. I was really, really kind of, you know, really struggled to walk. And it was like that for quite some time. My first day in the boarding house, I was tipped out of bed and I was stomped on and called every kind of racial name, blah, blah, blah. And during that time, during the stomping, there was one Indian boy who was much darker than me. He was like, I was like, but aren't you, you know, raining down?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, and I tell this story quite a lot, but it
Okay.
really, those moments of being in my formative years, puberty, first love, all that kind of shit, is that's the reason I know Niobe exists. It's the reason why she is life and she has dreadlocks and she's trying to not only connect somehow with her people and do her people, because the humans don't fuck with her, do her people fuck with her. She's trying to connect in the same way I think that I was trying to find my tribe, whether it's for my friends and family. And also, another thing too, my mother is such a huge part of my life. So I connect Niobe with the goddess, the mother, which I really think a lot has to do with my connection with my mum, is just fucking brilliant. She's just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And not that my mum has dreads, but what I had in my mind was the last image Niobe has of her actual birth mother is these dreadlocks falling down like willows and Niobe holding on to them. Like, so there's this symbolic kind of emotional connection that Niobe has for her mother that she's longing to connect with. So when the goddess mother speaks to her, she becomes devout and needs to find her faith. And when her faith lets her down, so I think when we go through life and we're like, we go through some bad shit and God doesn't come, we feel like the God doesn't come through or whatever, it's like we question our faith, like, well, fuck that, you know, I'm going to armor up, I'm going to do me, blah, blah, blah. So that's Niobe's journey as well. So I like to kind of reflect honest, relatable, honest themes that we've all kind of felt on deep emotions, you know. And does Niobe want it? Like, I'll read you a piece from She Is Death, all right?
Oh, okay.
So does Niobe want that? So there's a scene in She Is Death where she's on the ship and she's meant to do some saving and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
where is it? Is it in the ship? I can't remember where it is. Yeah, here we go. She says, I felt someone calling out to me. It was no God. Not even my mother speaks to me anymore. I felt it, Yorick, a voice on the other side of the world, my name on her lips like music. I cradled the voice and let her in. It was beautiful and brave. It was sorrow and joy. And her friend says, it was worship. And she says, I don't want that, people's praise. And her other friend says, who would, but for kings and other such devils? But what of the world who needs you? So Niobe's got this deep struggle, as I think we do now. Just, it could be as basic as, I got to pay the rent, right? I have my responsibilities. For Niobe, these weights of responsibility of, can she be everything that has been laid on her, right? Even me, what I lay on her, can she live up to these expectations? Like, I think about that shit when I'm writing all these stories, like, oh, we got the HBO show. Now it's like, oh, we got the HBO show. And then, oh, that's been 2 years, bro. I guess it's not coming out. Oh, this, that, and the other. Motherfuckers' expectations are, I mean, they just need hugs or whatever. You know, like, but it's real.
Yeah, you real. You right.
The expectations on her to save, the expectations on any of us and how we're meant to be and do and be responsible, I think is, you know, you can amplify that in the storytelling. So for me, you know, long-windedness is my Achilles heel is that's that journey for me is the journey for her, and this has kind of been we've been on this ride together, bro. Yeah.
Okay, and I understand that completely because that's your baby. I understand. So, this next one, I kind of put it when you was just telling me that story. There's no reason for me to ask you this question, but I'm gonna ask you it because it makes me feel like Niobe is a part of this right here. You said that a good idea must be nature. What's the nature?
Nurture.
So
Right.
nurtured. I'm sorry. Sometimes I mess up.
They,
So is Niobe a perfect example of one of the greatest idea that you nurtured?
thank you. Yeah, I think so, bro. I mean, I think it's I think I really do I really think that's when people have it comes back to another question you asked earlier as far as when people want to start a publishing company.
Yes, sir.
They a lot of times people don't realize that ideas are like children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when like we all experience this, right? Your dreams, you're like, oh, I've got an idea. And it just kind of keeps on, you know, poking in the back of the head, right? Like, oh, it's just that itch you got to scratch. Like, oh, it's this idea. Let me put it on, watch the game, or I want to go on a date, or I want to get laid, or I want to play video games, blah blah blah. And this idea keeps on coming. It's like a kid. So if you're a person with an idea, you're like a bad parent if you don't nurture it. You have an idea to do a podcast. You don't nurture it, it ain't going to happen. And in the way that you're doing your podcast, like you're asking me questions, you're really fucking great at it. So it's something that you've obviously nurtured this baby of yours. It's the same thing is when you create a publishing company or you create an idea for a character, it's on you is they're not going to raise themselves. And if someone else raises them, they're going to while out or they're in trouble. So it's on you to nurture them like it is your child. So yeah, Niobe and Niobe's probably my, you know, my kid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your baby, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I believe this. I got, and also I know that some of my questions might be kind of deep,
That's
but the characters, the how can I say it's right? The stuff that you are producing is deep. You don't want it to just be surface level. You want it to go way down deep in the ocean, so you can understand why when you come down here, you got to understand why it's down here so far, why it's so deep. If I just give you just a little bit just to peek through, you ain't got nothing to experience. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And I feel you on that. Um, each story has a soul. You said.
Mm.
So what is your goal for the reader? So if I had one of the newest books or one of the oldest books, and like you said, this book has got soul. This book has a soul. What do you want the readers and your fans to get out of your production or the team production with the book having a soul? You just don't want somebody to read and be like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? You want them to be like like I went through that.
I
Like,
hope
go
so.
ahead.
Yeah, man. No, that's fantastic. Thank you. No, I don't want people to be like, oh, I was just watching TV, I was skimming through this comic. You can't, in my, like, again, these questions are great, but I do come across so obnoxious. My goal is not. I don't want it to be like, yeah, some shit you can play a video game, you can have a TV on at the same time. Some TV shows you can't be playing video games on your phone or Snapchat or whatever the fuck that shit is. Like you can't. You have to be invested. So for some people like that read my shit, I'm I'm I guess a patient. Melvin, hey, what's up, Melvin? Um, so that's an adventure. That's what I felt. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, the goal is for me is I want you to take your time and be patient with it. Like if you're gonna spend money on the comic to read it, when I used to read comics, I used to read them 4 or 5 times at least. I had to read it slowly, quickly, look at the art, go back, like, what did I miss? And the art for me is the patience of storytelling. So some readers don't, if they don't like my shit, the ones that don't, is they don't have the patience to read through, like peel back the layers, right? So a lot of times
Yes.
what we see in entertainment and TV, back in the days, you were able to take your time. Nowadays, the plot is all up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plot is up front. If you've ever watched TV shows, and I've been learning this a lot recently based on the work I've been doing, is you watch a show, the plot is there, people don't have the patience anymore, is what they say. I think they do. I think they
Mm-hmm.
can, but it's not what's being presented. So it becomes contagious. Like, okay, we're all in this space of the current time of plot, plot, plot. Okay, now I know what it is. Okay, now I guess I'll watch it because I kind of know what it is. It's like giving up the trailer. Whereas for me, I like old school way of watching TV. I like old school way of watching movies. Like, oh shit, the fuck's gonna happen now? Like, 3 Days of a Condor. Like, what? Oh snap! Like, oh my god, maybe something impactful in the beginning, but now how's it gonna get unraveled? I want you to take your time with it and be patient because you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it on the first page if you don't take this stuff seriously. So I want you to have the quietness to read it, hopefully have a soul connection, and then go, I need to know.
And
And
that's what makes it timeless.
that was good. That was good. That's perfect.
Yes. Yes. I was waiting on that. I was waiting on that.
That's good.
But I ain't mean to interrupt you though if you wasn't through. I'm sorry. I
No,
just had to just throw that in there because that's what
I'll,
it felt like.
I'll tell you a fun thing, right? So Dusu, like that character Dura, who's in the new Naibian Dura comic, she's the ancient of the butterfly. So you saw that Erica Badu cover with the wings on the back. That's because
Yes.
she's the ancient of the butterfly. So in the
Okay.
comic, what people don't realize, it's so small. On the first page, there's a caterpillar. So there's a caterpillar right here in red, right?
Yeah, right there.
Right here. So for people that have read Dusu like 5, 6 years ago, and they go, wait a minute, Dura is talking about the evolution of how you can metamorphosize and how you go on your own evolvement of journey. She was narrating this book. Now she's the ancient of the butterfly. Oh, it's being able to kind of plant lots of seeds in fun story ways. And as Melvin said, it's an adventure, which is awesome because it is a big adventure. So I want people to get like, not just like, oh, this dude is just, the so melodramatic, it's too much. Like, it's fun as shit too, like, got like, people chopping off heads and wars and battles and maybe a bit of
Yeah.
like crazy, like for the old, I've got older comics,
Hmm.
so I want some fun. It's fun as well. Shit.
Now, you know what? That now I have a something that I've added into my interviews when no matter who I interview or what they do, I always try to figure out like a little lightning round where I ask you. But basically, it's like a one and two. You're either gonna pick one, you pick the other. But I'm doing it different for you. For you, I wrote down some titles of all your productions, right? Not all of them, but some of them, and with two surprises at the end. And
Oh,
I just want you to give me one word to describe that particular title, okay?
okay.
And I know you have some side titles too, so I'm just gonna call them out one by one. I'm gonna do. Here we go. So first, The Untamed,
Pain.
Sinner's Prayer,
Ray Charles.
The Killing Floor,
Skip James.
Still a Fool,
Muddy Waters.
Niobe,
Life.
She is Deaf,
Lessons.
Deuce. I want to say the name right. Dusu,
The Incredible Hulk.
The Fallen,
Mistakes.
Markamoa,
Wrath.
Path of the Ancient, Arathun, how you say that? Essesa,
Tessa? Uh-huh.
Essesa,
Hmm.
and yeah, okay, I think I said it right. Go ahead.
Okay, so the first one says Path of the Ancient, change.
Okay.
Erathun, war. Issessa, lust.
Silver Blood,
Assassination.
Salvador. Yeah, I went kind of deep. Yeah, I wrote some stuff down. Yeah.
Fuck those motherfuckers.
Ruining Christmas.
Joy.
Pinata.
Ah, happiness.
I am mixed.
Needed.
I am living in two homes.
Learning.
I am awesome.
Always.
Stranger Comics.
God.
Sebastian Jones.
Bad man trying to do good. Good man try. Good man.
And
Don't.
that is, yo, my brother, you did great. I love that. That's probably my favorite lightning round. I love it, that man. That was fun right there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yo, man. I really ain't got too many more questions for you because you done answered so much of stuff, man. So the only thing I can do right now, I mean, well, yeah, I want to give a shout out to uh, Mimi. Is that right?
Yep.
Mimi.
Mm-hmm.
David Levine.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out to them. Prentice Penny.
Yeah, you know who he is?
They put me on game because I got who is
Okay.
that? Who is that?
Apprentice is my writing partner on the new comic book Naibi and Dura. And if you're familiar with the show Insecure for HBO, the Issa Rae show,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, then
Okay.
so there's a show called Insecure on HBO, and there's a movie called Uncorked on Netflix. So
I ain't seen it, but I've seen that, title. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
all good, all good. Prentice is the top kind of executive producer of Insecure, and the director, producer, and writer, I believe, of Uncorked. He's a bad man. He's a great, 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 great dude. Just made a huge deal with Disney. Beautiful spirit. Incredibly lucky to work with him. Yeah, if you look up Prentice, you'll be like, oh shit, he's that dude.
Okay. Um, you are an executive producer.
I am, yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? In your words, you ain't got to take long, or you can speak on it how you want to. What's it like being an executive producer?
Oh, whoa, it's incredibly humbling. It's amazing to be able to be in that position. It's a huge privilege. I don't take it for granted. Um, I don't, it's going to be tough for people. I worked incredibly hard to be able to get to this position, and I've turned down a lot of people, a lot of stuff that have wanted to make me a little guy on the project.
Let me cut in right there. Is that easy? Is that easy doing that? Is that hard for you to do that
They know.
and then continue? Yeah, and
Yeah,
then continue. But yeah, I just want yeah.
it can be. I don't really fault people for taking quick deals. You never know what they're going through with their family life, their personal life, bills to pay, what
Hmm.
just their emotional state. All of that stuff, bro. For me, there's been times where it's been incredibly difficult running this company. Driving trucks to conventions, trucks breaking down, having to swap 5 pallets of books from one truck to another in 115 degree in Arizona with just me and one other dude, and get to the convention in time to make the money that we need to, or you're out of business. You name it, and I'm not going to throw people under the bus, but a lot of a lot of backstabbing, betrayal, beyond.
So that does go on in this world. That that where I'm pretty sure it does. I'm just
Yeah.
more than some. I got you. Okay, I got you. We ain't even got to dig in it. I got you.
But that, yeah, I was so suddenly like going down that rabbit hole of thought. I can't even remember. But yeah. What was the question?
Oh, shucks, you were going so good. Man, what did I ask you right then? I was listening to you so good. It kind of ran away from me. Oh man, what did?
It was a difficulty of the, like,
Oh, executive producing. How do
yeah,
you love it? Yeah,
right. I mean, honestly, yeah. Oh, the difficulty to say no. So there's been,
yeah.
that's right. Where it's been incredibly difficult, bro. It's so hard, so hard. Like, are we gonna make it next month? So during those, are we gonna make it next month? And offers come in, and you're like, maybe I should take this offer. And it uses my power. Some of these offers that come in, some of them have been great, some of them have been good, some of them have been not so good. But the ones that, it all comes back to why I turned down comic book companies back in the day to start up Stranger Comics, was I have to take the one that I feel has the best shot at protecting the integrity of Niobe's spirit.
Okay.
And that, I don't mind saying, I don't have a problem ever saying no. Like, I'll say this. Okay, so let's say I said yes to a company and they put out Niobe. Like, I've had offers on the Untamed back in 2009, 10. It's been optioned 3 or 4 times. I had offers from producers saying, if you make Niobe a white boy, I'll make your movie. Or Dusa a white boy, I'll make your movie. From big name people. I mean, we've gone through a lot of stuff that just obviously people don't know.
Whoa.
And that's fine. And then years later, of course, it's, what do we say that word? Timely. So everyone's like, hey, what black shit have you got? Like, oh, those motherfuckers are a stranger. So saying no is fine. Saying no when you're under duress, do you spite your nose, whatever, to survive, right? Because sometimes you're like, oh shit, maybe I need to take a deal to survive, to keep putting the comics out. So yes, to Melvin's like, don't compromise too much. Yeah, I don't, and at times that's been very difficult for my family.
Did you learn that? And I'm asking for advice right now. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Since we both Virgos, I got a problem with saying no too. So did you have to learn did you have to learn the hard way to say no? Or did you have to did you let stuff, I ain't gonna say let stuff, did certain things fail until you said, you know what? No. And then all of a sudden you started stepping up a couple ladder steps.
It's a instinct thing again. Every time I said yes to a deal that I had a bad feeling about, or same with an artist, same with a creative person, like, boyfriend, girlfriend, that kind of thing, always fucked me, always. And every time I've said no, I felt so much relief. Like, I don't have to stress the anxiety, because I know, like, okay, shit, here's 25 grand dangling in front of you. Oh my God, I can't pay next month. And there's a check, 25 grand. That's a lot of fucking dough. Right? Or here's another one for 5, or here's another one for 50. I mean, like, I've had lots of different types of offers over the years, but then what does it come with, and where is it going to go? I've had offers in from other comic companies. I've had offers from, I think when people read our stuff or get our stuff, they go, "Oh shit, there's something here. I want to be maybe a part of it, or I could exploit it, or I could use it for my own gain." And I'm getting older, and the conventions are harder, and this is just hard to keep track on the mental and the physical and so on and so forth, and the days. So when I did the deal with HBO, I was an executive producer, and I was
Okay.
able to meet one. I met some folks. I was like, oh, I like this person.
Yeah.
I had other meetings where, and I won't say with whom, but
Mm-hmm.
it was always like, oh, so what do you think the demographic is for this? You like pedestrian questions, and it'll be like people that like good shit. It became like I'm good. I can make a living selling my books. I might not be rich, and I might keep on struggling to indie comics, blah blah blah, but I'm going to sell my books, and I'm not going to sacrifice the integrity of Niobe. And all the people are like, oh, you'll never make it. Oh, is that show ever going to come out? Oh, I used to have been saying this for years. I'm like, straight up, fucking clue. Yeah,
Okay.
clue who, what, not just me, but people that have worked in our business and in the company have gone through to put out these books
Mhm.
and to stay in business and to do our utmost to present the material in the way that you are going to receive it, because when people receive content, they are used to the top two, right? So I don't knock motherfuckers at all. It's like you step into the ring, massive respect. But I understand the psychology of people. They're spoiled on billion-dollar corporations of Marvel and DC. They're spoiled on it. So when
Mhm.
people get my shit and they go, "Oh wow, this is as good as the big two," or "This is big," and that's, I appreciate the compliment, but the understanding is your preconditions as a fan to the big two. Your sensory overload on watching all these big explosions and movies, and everyone's being haha funny in all the movies and all the it's like everything's like big tongue in cheek. It's big entertainment, popcorn, all that shit. It's great to a degree, but then where's the spirit of the story? And on top of that, are you trying? What are you wanting for your fan to resonate with? So for me, I understand that a fan is, again, they spent $4 fucking, but when they spend $4, they're used to getting $1 billion corporation's marketing machine. They can pay the best writers, the best artists, the best. So here I am going like, hey, yo, can you buy my $4 comic, or here's my $20 variant, or my $50 variant, or my beautiful hardcover, or this, that, and the other. Understanding that they might not go like, whoa, this is amazing. God, this is great. You must have put some fucking work into it. They just go, oh, okay, cool. How much? Because they're preconditioned to it being on the shelf. So I understand the psychology of the person receiving it might not have, and why should they? Why should they? They're paying the same amount of money for Marvel DC, right? So why
Mhm.
should they expect anything less? Coming back to one of your early questions, like, this is why I pour, no, one of the many reasons I pour everything into this, so they come away feeling like, oh, that was pretty good, or that's good. You know what? I'll fuck with that again. Other people might be more understanding, like Melvin and some of the folks here, like,
Mhm.
whoa, we are slightly more elevated to go, wow. I can't. I guess I could maybe imagine of the effort you guys must have put in to create content that is on that A+ level,
Mhm.
art and story and so on, and find
Mhm.
artists who have never been published before, and that go like they don't know what they're doing as to start with. to work with them, we lay out everything. Like Daryl lays out every book for our artists. So we blueprint, and then we want to share, and then the artists, improve upon and massage and so on. So it becomes like a family unit to present the material. But we're in the cut with that. We want to make sure that we don't, I'm not saying this, all the artists were the fucking amazing talent. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm super blessed and super appreciative, much as I'm sure they're appreciative of as much work as we do in ground floor to give to them to elevate. Because it's a team effort. It's a team effort. So yeah, it's so incredibly important, I think, that so coming back to me being executive producer is I've been through some crazy shit, like getting fired crack house, crazy shit. Like I could tell you stories that you're like, what the entire fuck?
Yeah, we're gonna say that for a part two, because I definitely can change some stuff around, and we can have a more, you know what I'm saying, lively conversation, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm enjoying I mean, you're a Virgo, like I said, once again, I enjoy everything about my Virgo peoples. I love my Virgo. I'm enjoying everything you saying, man. I swear there's a lot of stuff that you just said that I can relate to. Because with me I still feel like I'm an amateur podcaster. I've been doing this for like 3 years, 3 to 4 years. I had a partner, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say he quit on me, but he quit on me because of whatever. But that's why I asked you about the saying yes and saying no type thing, because
Let me say this to you, bro. Can I say?
yes, sir.
I just say
Come
one.
on, come on.
When if I had taken a deal, right, and I take a deal, and it's not a great deal, let's say, but it might put some money in my pocket, and I can take care of my shit for a bit. Cool. But the show comes out. Let's say the show gets made, and it comes out, and it's just whack, and it comes out for a season, right? If I'm at a booth, or I'm somewhere, or whatever, me, or more importantly, the content is out there, right? The comic is in a shop, whatever. People are going to walk past and be like, "Oh, you see? Oh, that's that Naive shit. I saw that on so that's a whack shit. You gonna pick that up? Fucking hell no. Do you see the show? Most people are watching the show first. That's how they get introduced to new comics for a celebrity, or celebrity's doing a comic. Oh shit, I better go and get it.
Yeah.
Something, a TV show. Oh, this one's hot now. Let me go and get it. New fans are coming. New readers are coming. Great, no problem. If I'd have taken a bad deal to make a bad show, my comics are then going to be, that's that bullshit. So I have to be, so in that respect, I love saying no, bro. I'm all good, because I can be extremely confident in the fact that my shit, if people don't like it, that's on me. Or their taste might not jive with mine. Fine. But it's up to me to make sure my shit is as good as it can be in my eyes before it gets to the reader. When it gets to the reader, I know without question, every single fucking book I've ever put out, me and my team and Josh and Daryl, we have done the utmost best effort we have to put into these books. And I know there's no fraction of a doubt in my mind. We have put maximum effort into these books, and it's up to folks. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. But yeah, they're the shit. So I'm good.
You really answered that for me in a nutshell too. You know what I'm saying? Start being more transparent towards myself. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
with yourself, man, straight up. Because if you take a deal, like a lot of folks ask me about the deals in the Hollywoods and so on, and they come to and they go like, "Hey, I've got this deal," and I'm like, "Oh man, that's." I understand it could be good. It could be like, "Oh shit, you can make a quick quick few bucks and pay some bills, because comics are not cheap to make.
Got that right.
Um, so yeah, you pay off your debt. You know, buy your kid something. You know, you fuck, yes, but you're in a danger zone of, if they don't make it the way that you hoped. Maybe they don't make it the way you hope. Maybe it's better. I mean, it's a crapshoot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of times too, Cooks, is like, just trust your instincts. Trust,
Okay.
trust your spirit and what your spirit's telling.
Okay.
And that, to me, I've really, like, the pandemic hurt us big time, bro. Like, we were making our income, 90% of it at conventions. And when the pandemic hit, 90% of our income is convention. And,
Dang.
right. So, you know, we had to take a big shift to start, like, okay, me going online every Thursday, me getting, I would get my, I'm used to getting out on the street, meeting people, creating these connections. So, okay, let me connect with folks online. Let me put myself out there. Let me dare to be vulnerable. Let me have fun. So yeah, started hustling on IG, but also in a way that every Thursday someone can get some free shit and have some fun, and we do a poetry competition and have a giggle here and there, and get to know me a bit more, and then by doing that they start to resonate, like at a convention, with the comics more. And we have Diamond Distribution, we have Barnes, you know, Ingram and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm like, oh shit, I've got to get more proactive in making sure my stuff are in all the shops again, and be more proactively aggressive with that. So there's a big shift. There's a big learning curve from doing 2 to 3 conventions at times a month to none. Oh, where's the money coming from? You know, while executive producing and in development and learning for the first time ever. I've never done that before. Like, I'd never
Mm.
done comics before. You know, like I'd never done a record before. You know, feel
And
like a smart dude. I can figure that shit out. You know, people are people.
w- right. One thing I can say right now that I love about you, bro, is that Mr. Sebastian, man, is that you have you're versatile. Like, you're just not a person who just sit in a room and create books and pictures and art. You actually have a life. Like, you've been in music before. You mentioned fighting. You mentioned, and that stuff is interesting to me. I don't want you to tell me none of it now, because I want to plan this for a part 2. You
Okay,
know what I'm
you go.
saying? You know what I'm saying? We talking to stranger now, but for next time I want to talk to Sebastian. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know. You know what I mean? Because that's interesting. Only if you're comfortable with talking about it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I also want to, you know what I'm saying? Because we right here at the end. I feel like I done held you enough. You done pretty much answered 3 pages of, and I still got some left, but I'm like, no, you done did, you done answered, you done laid the cement down right now. You know what I mean? So I would like to, I want to give one shout out to my partner, OG Lee, OG Green Lantern. He had a
Great.
question right here he wanted to ask. Before I ask you, I just want to say, OG, my brother from the Comic Dudes, thank you, man, for putting it in my head to reach out to Stranger Comics, and thank you for telling me how cool he is. You wasn't lying. He is super duper cool. So OG Green Lantern is the reason me and you talking right now, beside the man upstairs, beside the big one up there. So I thank you for that. And his question is, well, what he told me to ask you about the Stranger badges.
It's okay. So when I do Thursday lives, if this is the badges OG is talking about, when I do Stranger Comics live, I didn't I didn't start this until recently. I didn't realize this shit. I'm so bad with tech. I'm so bad with learning YouTubes and this is and that. I'm awful at it. But so when I started doing these Stranger Comics lives, I do these badges that people literally can buy a badge, and it's like there's 3 badges, one for 99 cents, one $1.99, one's $4.99 or something. So when I'm doing these lives, people buy these badges, and it's literally they start buying badges. So these big hearts. You should do it, bro. You should do it. People buy you badges, It's like money in pocket for an evening of having a chat, and it's
Okay.
people. Gives folks a chance to look up online badges on Instagram, and people can buy badges just while they're on the chat. So every week, I feel like they're taking me out for dinner or something. It's really sweet. So look up badges online, and that's that. And you might you'll be great at it, bro, because you're so good at this.
But let me ask you something though, because and this right here is more of a this is once again me, Cooks 24, asking Mr. Super Asher Strange to Comments. Once again, Virgo to Virgo. How do I always told myself that I wasn't gonna do this because I'm interested in the money. I'm interested in the people, right?
Yeah.
But but when it comes to business, you have to look out for yourself. You can't help the homeless all the time and then you end up homeless. You know what
Straight
I'm
up.
saying?
Yep.
So can you give me some advice on how to teach myself how to understand that it's okay to make $1
It's
or
yeah, so and I believe Melvin hasn't said, but if someone wants to send you something in appreciation, how do they do that? Oh, that's really sweet.
yeah.
That's really kind. That's so kind, man. I That's really sweet. Um, I'll send you my address. That's really kind. It's funny actually. My friend Deja, she sent me something, and she's like, "Open it after this live." And my friend Shuttercube, who's on here, because every Thursday I had this phone and it was dying, and Shuttercube, shout out to Shuttercube, bought me a portable charger for my phone. So when my phone started, the battery would die. The Thursday lives could keep going. So the folks are just absolutely beautiful. And I think
Shout out, Kyoto.
shout out to Shuttercube. True folks. I was at a signing. Amar, True folks. He bought me the best cake, Hennessy cake, I think it was. And I don't drink alcohol, but I was really lit. It was the most delicious cake I have ever had. So what is a beautiful thing to realize, bro, is your podcast, you asked such good questions. You've done such good research on me. And I've done a lot of interviews, and not a lot of people do how you have. So I
Yes,
think
sir.
people want to show their love and appreciation for you, and there's a kindness in that. Okay, so I'll tell you a quick story, and
Okay.
um, I think I was on a shuttle recently, and this old lady, was struggling with her bag. No one was helping, so I moved all these motherfuckers out of the way to help with her bag to get it on the thing. And it was heavy as shit, and then helped her off, and then helped her on the thing, and onto the shuttle. And then I was sitting talking to this other lady, another old lady, and suddenly this lady turned around like this. She's like, "I'd like to take you out for dinner." And I was like so shocked. I was like, "Oh, that's really kind. I'm late. We were late, so I don't know if I could go out for dinner with you." Um, and she's like, "No, I would like to take you out for dinner." I'm like, "Okay." What I didn't see in her hand, she had these two dollar. She had $20 between her fingers. She just wanted to give me $20. And by the time I realized she pulled her hand back, by the time I realized she wanted to give me the money, I didn't see it in time. But I said no thank you to the dinner, not realizing she was just offering me $20. She was so happy to be able to show her appreciation. So the answer to that question is, like Melvin and folks that said they want to support, is if they want to throw some dollars my way, I won't say no because I appreciate it. I'd like to give something in return. Like Melvin, if you want to send me a gift, I'd be honored. If you want to buy some more comics, I always feel a bit weird taking money and not giving something in return. But the Thursday lives, bro, I think for a lot of folks, they say it's like therapy, and we have like family come together, we have fun and laughter and share. I play some music and act a bit silly and just really have a good time. I think people are it's just a way of showing their love. And I think for your fans, how good you are at this shit, it gives them an opportunity to show you their love, and that you don't want to take away that opportunity for them. So yeah, get some badges on your platform so folks can
Okay.
show love, because you are providing something wonderful for them. You know.
All right.
Yeah,
I thank you for that.
you'll have the Cook's family. I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing.
All right, man. I thank you for that too, man. And I guess two more things I want to ask you before we outro out. Before I tell what I mean, let people know, because I excuse me, I definitely want you to let people know once more time, like where to find you at and stuff like that, if they don't already know, because pretty sure a lot of them do know. You pretty much answered it for me, man. I always ask anybody who is an entrepreneur like you or their own boss like you. You know what I'm saying? There's ups and downs. And with me, still feeling like I'm an amateur and I'm my biggest critic, people say, hey man, you did a great job. Like you said, I did a great job. Sometimes I like, even though like somewhere up in here, man, I still feel like, man, you could have did one more thing better. You know what I'm saying? So what's just a piece of advice or a lot, spoonful that you could give me to let me know and other people in the chat room that I'm cool with, the Riff Raff Squad, the Common Dudes, about being our own boss?
Be, be kind to yourself. You know, just I think that, like what I loved about the interview is not only is you did the real thorough research, um, you knew when not everyone listens, so you're an incredible listener, and you're generous with your time. That's a gift, man. Um, so I think being your own boss is, if I was to give a piece of advice, is be kind to yourself, because all you, but for me, it's tough for me to switch off, right? You switch off your brain. And so what I've had to really learn this year is do a bit more exercising and working on, and I brought this up on a Stranger Live once, and I said, it's kind of like when you exercise physically, you can see the difference, right? Like, okay, now I feel a bit, I've got a bit more energy, blah, blah, blah. But when you work on your mental, you don't necessarily, hey, Dylan, good to see you. When you work on your mental or your spiritual, you don't necessarily see the immediate effects, right? So if you continue to work on your mental and your spiritual, trust in the process that you are maintaining a healthy mental and spiritual at the same time. So like if you do 50 push-ups a day, do 50 push-ups of mental and spiritual a day. So then 6 months from now, like, okay, you did 50 push-ups 6 months from now, like, oh shit, I feel a bit better. Okay, I feel a bit stronger, I feel a bit healthier. You might not see that, but other people will, the mental and the spiritual. And you might sleep better, you might feel healthier. And Melvin said, right, and support others doing the same, 100%. Support, support, support. Always support others doing the same.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's funny, like, everyone should definitely follow Be Beautiful LA. Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
Hey, darling. Great dancer too. Great dance partner.
Okay. Okay.
But I think, so like when I do Kickstarters, I've supported, I think, nearly 200 Kickstarters,
Wow.
and I never really support, and rarely support the project, is because I support the person. I believe they're putting their best effort and love into their project, right? And you're like, oh, this person really, really is trying super, super hard to make something here. And whether I like, dislike, or hadn't spent too much time to like. I believe in this person. I want them to succeed because they seem like a good dude or a good lady or a good they. You know, like I want to support. So I think you know, yeah, be kind to yourself, bro, and support. I mean,
Yes, sir.
you're doing it. I mean, I think you're doing it.
Yes,
Be
sir. Okay.
oh, one last thing, bro. I'll say this is be diligent in never waiting for inspiration. So in waiting for inspiration, it sounds harsh, but is the amateur. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing this week? Oh, I wasn't inspired, so I didn't work on it. Word? I've been inspired for the last 3 months. When are you inspired? You
That
inspire,
makes sense.
right? But when you're working, when you force the reality of the work, inspiration can manifest because you're you're working.
When I'm podcasting, like now, or when I was doing my notes, I was having like it seemed like that'd be my funnest time. Like I was in the car with some of my homies, and I'm thinking, okay, I had to get the time zone right. Like, okay, I think I need to be getting on to the crib. You know what I'm saying? I'm hanging with the partners. Hey, we grown. I'm blazing. We blazing. I'm looking out the window. Where we going? Then stop by the store. I need to get some Doritos. You know what I'm saying? And then I thought about it for a second. If I'm gonna treat this like a job, then I
Yeah,
need to be on time.
yeah,
And if I want to be on my own boss, then I have to, like you said, be kind to myself, make it easier for myself. At the same time, knowing making it easier for myself to get into the hard work of it.
yes, 100%,
Okay.
100%. You be accountable and be kind to yourself. All that
Okay.
always. Like to me, this is one of my favorite interviews. Like I've done so fucking many over the years from record business and stuff. And again, like oh, I've done, but you know, it's I've done a lot. And I really enjoyed this because you seriously put in some serious work. So that's like, oh, you know, wow, that's nice. That's refreshing.
Yes, sir. I
You know,
mean, you know what I'm saying? One thing about me when it comes to interviewing somebody, before I ever started interviewing, I learned. I probably watched everybody's podcast and then I went and looked for all the how to and what to and podcast rules. And I got like 3 pages, probably like a 75 straight up real deal podcast rules, the basics. And, one of the most important things is even though I never met you before, I'm still gonna talk to you like you my friend.
yeah,
And now you are my friend.
there you
And
go.
then when you find out you have so much in common, once again the Virgo thing, I always hang tight to that. You know what I'm saying? I can't help it. you know, and then the hip hop, and then I can tell you got some with the fighting, so I know you must like sports. Then the lady said you one of the best stanky leg dancers, so I know you like to have fun. You know what I'm saying? You know both parts of the bridge. You know that side of the bridge, that side of the bridge, that side of the tracks. You know you'd have been up, you'd have been down. So I can't say this was great,
Thank you, man.
Mr. Stranger Man. Thank you so much. One question I didn't ask you. I hear the accent. Where is you from?
I was just southwest of London in England.
Oh, so we talk. So you in the UK?
I'm in Los Angeles. No, man, I moved there
Oh,
at 18. Yeah, so I've lived in
okay,
18. I'm for 30 years, but I'm originally from England. Yeah.
okay. I'm from Decatur, Alabama, so I'm down south, man. I'm from Alabama. You know what I mean? So that's where the kind of country accent come from. If you can hear it in the
I
back there, you.
little accent. Yeah.
And are you familiar with ASAP Comics in the UK?
ASAP Com. Yes, I know the name. I did.
I'm a I'm a friend. Me and him friends. I did an interview with him, and like that accent is like if you make me think of him. And he's also the Kickstarter thing. That also he grew his business. Him and he's with Comic Crusaders.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that group right there, that organization, which they do great things too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. But yeah, I just want to throw that part out. But other than that, if you don't mind, Mr. Sebastian, let people know where to find you at, as far as the podcast you do or the talk, the talk you do. just your information as far as your acts and where to find you at, because I'm
Yeah.
finna write them down too.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. So everyone can find me at Stranger Comics, and every Thursday I do an Instagram live at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday. And strangercomics.com. If you go to strangercomics.com, you subscribe, you get passwords, you get discount codes, you get free PDFs. I do a weekly newsletter where I talk, I'm all over the place, so I just talk some shit. You find out the latest deals. But the Stranger Thursdays are great because you can win free stuff. Sometimes just give away shit. And we just have a lot of fun on Thursdays. And the Kickstarter is going to be great fun. Join the Stranger family, True Folk says. The Kickstarter is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be, I did this once in March, all day from 10 to 8 in front of the brutal. We're trying to get on the 28th when we drop the Kickstarter. Me and the guys have put more effort into this Kickstarter than any campaign ever. So any support would be most welcome. And I think the rewards and the opportunities to get immersed into the world is going to be amazing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. August 28th, Jack Kirby's birthday. It's my birthday. It's if you look up August 28th, there's lots of historical things in Black history happened on August 28th.
Yes.
So yeah, August 28th, man. It's gonna be fun. And spread the word, man. I'll spread the word for you, spread the word for me, and
Definitely will. But I know you have some posts that I can grab a hold to and share them.
oh, yeah. grab. Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to be at any Comic Cons coming up this year?
Yeah, we are 50-50 on Rose City in Portland. Some of my fellow workers, they're a bit concerned with the Delta strain variant, and I might have to cancel that because when we do conventions, when you see us at cons, we're savage. Like, we are the most aggressive and fun people at conventions. And we put in the work. We don't sit down. We have the one chair, that's the chair, like no one sits. Now I'm getting 48. Now I sneak a sit when I was but yeah, we're crazy. We're crazy at convention. So if you scroll down on our page, you'll see convention videos and photos. We're definitely going to do New York Comic Con. Talk for that. And we'll do Emerald City Comic Con.
Okay.
And then I've got to rehire more folks for next year, and then we'll be en masse next year.
Okay.
Yeah. We usually do lots, bro, like Denver, Baltimore, obviously the ones in Cali, Black Comics Arts Festival in Frisco. We're all over the place.
Okay. 6 Element of Hip Hop. I wanted to let him know to DM you because he wants to have you a guest on his show.
Oh, that's lovely.
6 Element of Hip Hop. It comes on Mondays at 6:30 Eastern time. So I'm pretty sure he will get with you and talk with you about, what he want to talk with you about. Pretty much the same thing with different questions, but he's great at it, and he also has a team. So it'll probably be 1 or 2 or 3, and I might be on there with him too. So you'll probably see me again. Thank you for giving the advice to the early comic book writers, because they need to hear that. Niobe fans and Stranger Comic fans, y'all seen that he showed y'all some stuff that you just wouldn't be able to see online somewhere else. You would Cooks 24 podcast here, and this man blessed me. Thank you, OG Lee. This man right here blessed me with some good stuff, man, with some great advice to keep me going, to keep my head up. But sometimes I do get down, Mr. Sebastian. But it seemed like God working mysterious ways. I always said that my big mama was my grandma. My big mama was an angel. So every time I get sad, somebody always just come like that. Like it be like I don't have like if I cry, I can't cry long because somebody gonna knock on the door or somebody gonna call. It's just it ain't meant for me to be sad.
There you go.
Uh, I thank you, man, for just what you do. I will make sure that I dig more into your sources and read more and get
Thank you.
away from the regular stuff and get into the stuff that resonates more towards me. You know what I'm saying? African American, a male, and learn more about the black woman, a woman in general, and the things they go through. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for being here, giving me your time. I know we went a pretty good while, but you enjoyed yourself, so I really ain't nothing. I'm happy. I'm happy about this. I'm very happy.
I had a great time. I had a really great time.
And, would you like to shout out any of your close partners that work with you, your team, or anything like that?
I don't want to shout out anybody. No, yeah, no. Shout out just to the Stranger family. Shout out to everyone that's on tonight. That has stayed for the entire duration. Just you guys are the best. Awoke So Dope, Love Me Always, OG. Space, Sixth, Ahmad, True Folks, Melvin, like Brandon, the whole crew, everyone that just stayed on. Valerie's here, just the crew, just always the crew.
Yes.
It has kept me going during at times a very dark, shadowy area of my life. So, I appreciate the good folks, the Stranger family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the
Yes,
folks.
sir. And I would also like to say to all the stranger family, I would like to get to know y'all, and I want to know more about y'all, and I want y'all to keep me up to date on the stranger stuff. I'm going to get in there in website. I'm probably going to end up joining because I like this. And if you talk like this all the time, then I know, you know what I'm saying. So and one other thing I want to say, man, if there ever a time, I know you got plenty of friends. But there's such times that you want to be to yourself. That's that Virgo stuff. Sometimes we want to be just by ourselves.
Yeah.
So if there's ever a time that you like just want to just say, hey man, I just want to say what's up, or you just need to get some shit off your head and you don't want to talk about it, so you want to talk to somebody about somebody else, and they're gonna stick with the topic, and you ain't got the yo man, hit Cooks 24 up, man. I ain't gonna we can what I'm saying, you my friend now.
I
Much love to you, my brother. Thank you so much. I
appreciate it.
sure hope. And if we do get to have a part two, I'll make sure I hit you up a week ahead of time, so that way, because I know you be going, you be
That's
traveling.
I'm gonna do on a Thursday. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you on as a guest on my Stranger show and introduce my crew to to you. You that,
Thank you.
that's
Okay, that's a deal. That's a deal, man. Now, what time is it over there right now?
it is 8:38. So you're like 10:38.
10:37. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Well, my I set my clock a little faster, so when I get up late, I really ain't late. But you know how it go. Hey man, I had so much fun talking with you, cuz man. Like it's crazy, man. Like I had so much fun talking with you, man. You all right. You all right, man. You all right. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, thank you so much once again. Much love to the UK and everybody over there on that side. Be careful, be safe, wear your mask. You know what I mean? Take your Robitussin if you don't want to take the shot. You know what I mean? Take Benadryl. Just stay well. Blow your nose and spit it to the side and cover your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, Stranger Comes, man, thank you very much for joining Clues 24 podcast. I will be sharing. I will be letting people know. Everybody, please, August 28th, Stranger Comics Kickstarter. Don't y'all forget. Type it in, read the instructions. He already told you what to do. So, Stranger Comics, much love to you, my brother. I'll talk with you again.
Peace, family.
Peace, peace.